में हमारे परम पूज्य मुख्य अतिथि उत्तराखंड से पधारे जगत गुरु शंकराचार्य जी को अपना प्रणाम अर्पित करता हूं। आप संयम आदि शंकराचार्य की जीवंत परंपरा के प्रतीक है। आपकी उपस्थिति इस सभा को पवित्र करती है और हमारे इस विनम्र प्रयास को एक धर्म कार्य का स्वरूप देती है। Also, my greetings to every scholar, student, and seeker gathered here today. I am thankful that so many of you have come from all corners of Bharat and many from lands that lie beyond. I am also deeply grateful to the Indian knowledge systems under the Ministry of Education for their support. Without their guidance, this Indology conference would not have been possible. My dear guests, let me start by explaining why we are here today and why a conference on our Indology. We are the carriers of an epic civilizational adventure that has faced invasions, rebuilt multiple times after destructions, and carried its wisdom across thousands of years with unbroken tenacity. A civilization that refuses to break is also the one that learns how to build. जो सभ्यता राख में भी अग्नि जगाती, वही हर युग में नई धरती बसाती। Fast forward to today, and there can be no doubt that over the past decade, Bharat has not only been the world's fastest growing major economy, but it has also grown to become the fourth largest economy on the planet. However, across history, no nation has sustained economic power without civilizational confidence. When a civilization knows who it is, its economy knows where it must go. The two have always been inseparable. But as we gather here today, the nature of the global battleground is rapidly changing. The gatekeepers of tomorrow will not be kings or conquerors. They will be algorithms that are silent and unseen. And these digital empires will either become the custodians of our civilizational principles or rewrite them. This is why we meet to debate Indology and to ensure that our heritage is preserved in the world that lies ahead. हम यहाँ अंतम मिलते हैं ताकि ज्ञान के दीप जलाए तथा युग युगांतरों तक भारत धर्म की धारा फैलाए. Now allow me to tell you how all of this started. And as always, behind every action sits a simple story, and here is mine. The initial years of my childhood were spent in Banaskantha in a North Gujarat. मेरा बचपन बनासकांठा के रेगिस्तान में बीता और लाखों हिंदुस्तानी बच्चों की ही तरह मेरी मां की गोद में ही मेरी पहली पाठशाला थी. Like millions of Indian children, my first classroom too was the lap of my mother. Every evening, as the golden sun set over our home, my mother would gather me and my siblings, and she would narrate episodes from our eternal epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. She, Santaben, would tell us the stories about Prabhu Ram's 14-year exile, Sita Mata's devotion, the engineering wonder of the bridge to Lanka, the war with Ravan, the reunion of Prabhu Ram and Sita Mata, and then Sita Mata's separation again. From the Mahabharata, she spoke about Arjun's battlefield doubts and Krishna Bhagwan's words to Arjun to rise beyond family bonds and serve the purpose of Dharma. My mother was not just telling me stories. She was doing what every Indian mother does. She was shaping my sense of duty, devotion, and dharma. She would tell me, "Beta, રામની શક્તિ તેમના ધનુષમાં ન હતી, તેમના ધર્મમાં હતી. અને ધર્મની રક્ષા એ જ કરી શકે જે પોતાના સ્વાર્થને ભૂલીને પ્રજાના કલ્યાણ માટે પોતે દીપ બની જાય." Prabhu Ram's strength was never in his bow. It was in his dharma. It is only the one who forgets his own ego that can become a lamp for the welfare of his people. Every virtue in my mother's story had a name and a face. A wife like Sita, who lit the flame through the exile's night, turning her sorrow to strength and darkness to light. Brothers like Bharat and Lakshman, loyal and true, tied by dharma in everything that they do. My mother was not just narrating, the principles from our epics. She was teaching me how to live them. Mata, Prathama Guru, the mother, is indeed the first teacher. And perhaps, after all these years, it was her soft voice that resurfaced when the Ram temple was inaugurated in Ayodhya last year. In that moment, my heart turned not only to celebrations, but also to reflections on the 14 years Prabhu Ram spent in exile. जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं, 14 साल कोई साधारण संख्या नहीं थी। वह धर्मधारा नियत काल था, जिसने ये सुनिश्चित किया कि राम अयोध्या से निकले युवराज बनकर पर लौटे देवता बनकर। He left as the crown prince of a kingdom and returned not as a king he was expected to become, but as the god destiny had shaped him to be. And as Sudipta outlined, that is when the Indology idea took shape in my mind. My dear friends, as expected, since our announcement, I have often been asked, why does Indology matter? What is the objective of a 3-day global conference on Indology? Let me first address the questions. Why does Indology matter? And to do so, let me first define what Indology means to me. It is the disciplined study of our philosophies, art, medicine, mathematics, architectures, language, and governance. From zero to Vedic algorithms, Ayurveda's healing, to Vastu harmony, Arthshastra's statecraft, to our civilization values, Indology is about how to turn ideas into institutions. And so, when we study Indology, we do not look back to live in history. We look forward so that the best of history lives through us. हम अतीत को इसलिए छूते कि राष्ट्र ज्योति उदित हो जाए, यथा अनंत काल तक भारत धर्म की किरण जगत में फैलाए. That, my friends, is the answer to the first questions, why Indology matters. My dear friends, when the roots of culture fade, the land turns dry and bare. But as long as values shine, darkness can never dare. When we speak of a civilizational setback, we often remember Nalanda. But Nalanda was not an exception, it was a pattern. Bharat's greatest injuries came from the systematic destructions of our knowledge infrastructures. Let me explain. Bhaktiar Khilji burned Nalanda, Vikramshila, and Odantapuri. In doing so, he did not just destroy libraries, he burnt the nerve center of Asian learning. Their fall erased hundreds of years of knowledge in a single generation. Then came another form of destruction, that of self-confidence. In 1835, Britisher Thomas Macaulay declared India's vast knowledge systems of no practical use. He forced a replacement of thousands of years of our traditional educational model with a clerk producing model. This was not a policy. It was a psychological war. It broke our civilizational self-confidence. And then again came the extractions, tens of thousands of our manuscripts on astronomy, chemistry, metallurgy, Ayurveda, all shipped to Europe, translated, patented, repackaged, and credited as a Western discoveries. Our knowledge was shamelessly stolen and ruthlessly mined. Our attackers understood one thing with chilling precision, that civilizations do not fall by swords alone. They fall when their memory is left unguarded. And so they struck not just our people, but our libraries, our universities, and our stories, knowing that if memory breaks, then civilization bends. सभ्यताएं शस्त्रों से नहीं, शिथिल हुई स्मृतियों से ही टूटती है। जहां स्मृति शून्य हो जाती, वही संस्कृति शरण में झुक जाती है।